fighting skills are just amazing, and that comes into play so well. Eventually, the bad guys, I should say, find the Apple of Eden, and they're thinking like, oh, we got this. The movie ends with Sophie basically given a choice to either turn Cal in, because eventually during a Templar meeting, he and all the other assassins, they come in, and they are going to assassinate, of course, Sophie's father. And Sophie says, one scream and it'll be all over for you. And basically, Cal has a line of, don't start, you started this. And, basically that you can't just not finish it. So, in the end, Cal assassinates Sophie's father. They take the Apple of Eden, and it definitely seems like there's going to be a further progression of the movie, in which Sophie says, I will get the artifact back. So she's going to probably be the main protagonist going into the future movies. All in all, you guys, this was a damn good movie. Like I said, some of the present-day stuff kind of dragged just a little bit, but all in all, it was really good. The visual effects were great. They incorporated a lot of the weapons, like the blade in the wrists, the smoke bombs, the ropes, so much. You see a lot of familiar moves that you would see in the games. It's just, all in all, an awesome movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that goes and sees it. Definitely giving it at least, 2 thumbs up. It was really good. Alright, so now we can move on to the Rogue One review. A lot of concerns with this movie. The trailers were looking very promising. Now, the thing I think people were worried about is that, yes, it's going to be a spin-off, and yes, it's going to basically take place between Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. This is where things were getting a little bit fuzzy, because they have to have a story that makes sense. They have to have characters that are relatable. They have to make sense with a lot of the characters and why they're there. So much that they could do with that spin-off, and they indeed did an amazing job of addressing, how the rebels got the plans, who was kind of like the person behind it, just really developing this great group of characters that really people can relate to, that they can kind of laugh at, that they can kind of cry at. It's just one of those things where I thought everything, all in all, was just great. It focuses mainly on the female lead being Jyn, who is the daughter of a Imperial architect who helps create the Death Star. And in one of the messages that he sends out, he tells Jyn that there is a weak point in one of the exhaust ports, and one shot to the reactor will blow up the entire base, which ironically, they mentioned that in the first original Star Wars. So, definitely makes sense there. They introduce a lot of different characters. Of course, Jyn, they introduce a lot of rebels. They introduce this blind guy who doesn't necessarily use the Force, but he is just so into it. He shows that he really believes that there is indeed a one, seeing Force. He even does this little prayer of, I am one with the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. It's just an awesome deal. He's got a friend who's a complete badass. The rebel pilot that is in this has a robot named K2, who is just so much of the comedy relief, but he fits in so well with the character, with the movie, and he's got like so many pivotal points where, he's showing his loyalty, he's showing his concern, he's showing so much. It's just really awesome to see that. All in all, this movie was great. Basically Jyn starts off trying to find her father, and then it evolves into her finding the Death Star plans so that they can give the rebel hope. And that is exactly what this movie was all about. It was all about hope, which ironically, the first original Star Wars movie is A New Hope. So, this is all based on the hope and on the fact that they believe that they can find a way to destroy this Death Star. And it's really cool how they just don't even incorporate the fact that they can blow up planets, but they can actually blow up a city. And it really shows that in like the first, I want to say 10, 20 minutes, where the Death Star just blasts this one city, and it just basically looks like an animation where, if you guys have seen some National Geographics, or you've seen a lot of different scenarios in which they show a giant meteor hitting Earth and then just making it a complete desolate wasteland, that is basically kind of what the Death Star did, was that it just hit the Earth, and then it just started like this chain reaction, this tidal wave of momentum in which everything was just basically destroyed, and it was just so well done and so well thought out. And even when, in the end, we see that final Death Star shot in which the laser hits the water, again, it just looks so good. It looks exactly like I thought it would when a meteor would hit the Earth. It just looked very great. All in all, this was a amazing, amazing movie. They do find, of course, the Death Star plans, and they transmit it back to the Rebel alliances that they had up. Excuse me, I got something in my nose. Up in space, because they decided to do basically what is a suicide run, in which they all go down, they try to find these plans, and they eventually do. And there's a lot of things in this movie in which you see a lot of the brief cameos. You see Bail Organa, you see C-3PO, you see R2-D2. Bail Organa mentions, contacting a Jedi friend that he has, let him know about the plans. And, surprise, surprise, who do you think that's going to be? These aren't the droids you're looking for. Gee, I wonder. But, all in all, again, great movie. And it basically ends with none of the main lead guys surviving. So this is basically Disney's response to Suicide Squad. And they are basically a Suicide Squad because none of them survived at all. K2 ends up getting shot. The blind guy ends up getting dismantled. The badass guy is shot down. There's so many great deals. We see a lot of the classic. When you hear the squadrons, like red leader, yellow leader, gold leader, blue leader, all these different classic deals. It's awesome just hearing those. And Max's favorite team is the Blue Squadron, so you can definitely see why we love Blue so much. I mean, SmackDown Live is awesome. Now we got Blue Squadron in the Rogue One series. It's just amazing. So, in the end, they get the plans transmitted up to the Rebel bases, and next thing you know, Darth Vader comes in. He makes a big-time cameo, and I want to kind of address something, because this is kind of weird, that he makes a pun during the movie where one of the main lead protagonists, he was basically asking about him being still the director, and he makes a pun about, don't choke on your adversary, something like that. And people are really hating the fact that, he made this kind of pun. I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, all in all, there's a lot of villains that have made puns in the past. I mean, you look at somebody like, Freddy Krueger would be the best example. Saw, the doll from Saw, what was his name? Jigsaw, there we go. He's probably made quite a bit of them. Dr. Evil has probably made some puns. Oh, he's definitely made some puns. What am I thinking? You gotta have a villain that has a little bit of a sense of humor. And the fact that Darth Vader showed just that brief moment of a sense of humor, I was totally okay with that. So, I think people just need to lighten up and not freak out about the fact that, oh my gosh, Darth Vader made a pun. Everybody run. The world's going to end. Just shut up. It's fine. It doesn't harm Darth Vader in the least, especially when you see the final scene of him entering into the Rebel ship, and you hear it's all dark. We see the Rebels. They got their blasters ready to go, and they're just ready to fire, and all in the darkness, all you hear is just like this, the Darth Vader breathing, and then he ignites his lightsaber, and it basically looks like a horror movie feeling in which he just kills and destroys all of the rebels, but unfortunately he does not get the one rebel that had the Death Star plans, which of course they make it onto their ship, and that of course continues on to A New Hope. So all in all, this was again a great movie. There's a lot of CGI animation, especially with one of the main generals in the Death Star, as well as Princess Leia. But all in all, they did a really good job. I definitely could tell that there's a lot of CGI animation involved in that, but it still doesn't take away from the movie. This is honestly one of the best Star Wars movies that I would recommend anybody to watch. This is just all in all great. The storyline flows well, characters are relatable, characters have some funny moments, the characters have some serious moments, a lot of serious moments. So many great things have come out of this movie, and I cannot think of a better spin-off than Rogue One. It was really, really good. So it's going to definitely really be one of those movies that sets the bar for how Star Wars movies are, going to be released and how they're going to be done. Because people compare this to Star Wars 7. A lot of people are definitely going to say that Rogue One is better than Star Wars 7. I think I would definitely agree with that, because you have so many of those classic cameos. You also have a lot of build up to the story. I think that Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens, it was just a movie in which they started introducing more characters, and they just started introducing more plots that may have been done before, but all in all, it was a really damn good movie, so I'm not going to complain about it in the least. This was honestly great. Definitely would recommend it. I would give that three thumbs up for Rogue One. It was really damn good. Definitely go see it. So those are my reviews for Assassin's Creed, as well as Star Wars Rogue One. That is going to wrap it up for this edition of Change the F Up. So, of course, you guys, be sure to check us all out on Twitter. Spencer Hart at Spencer Hart TSC. Max Beatty at Agent Cooper 1989. Also follow him on YouTube. He does great reviews, and he's definitely going to have some reviews about Assassin's Creed as well as Rogue One in the future. We'll have to see how well it goes with the whole YouTube bylaw deals. Everything that YouTube does is just really screwing everybody up. So, also be sure to check out my co-host Victory Bell at VictoryClark04. Also give her a like on her Facebook fan page. And of course, you know how to find me, of course, at Nate Effin Great on Twitter. And you can add me on Facebook if you'd like. So that is going to wrap it up for Change the F Up, you guys. Be sure to tune in tonight, in which we will have the Squared Circle podcast on of course, this same channel, and it will also feature Spencer Hart as well as Max Beatty. We'll be talking about Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. Maybe we'll incorporate a little bit of Lucha Underground as well as NXT, because all in all, this has been a pretty good week. Roadblock was, you know what, I'm going to save that for the Squared Circle podcast for my thoughts on that. So, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your love, and I will see you guys later on tonight. If I don't see you on tonight, well then, Merry Christmas to you guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been
Hoping that you dropped
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like
My
mine.
mother will start to worry.
Beautiful, what's your
My father
hurry?
will be pacing the floor.
Listen to that fireplace
So
roar.
really I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
Well,
hurry.
maybe just a half a drink more.
I'll put some records on while I
The
pour.
neighbors might think,
Baby, it's bad out there.
say what's in this drink.
No cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how
Your eyes are like starlight
to
now.